Today, I'm going to share with you 4 steps to help activate your psychic senses. Thanks so much for being here with me today. My name is Christine from Kyanite Psychic Services, and I love to help sensitive and creative souls build confidence and trust in their innate gifts and abilities. You can find out more about me and my services at kyanitepsychic.com. So here's the thing. From my perspective, activating or an activation, it's really a misnomer. And I'm sure, for you in searching psychic development, third eye open, you've come across all of these third eye activations, whether it's here on YouTube or anywhere else. No shade on any of those. I'm sure there's great content in there and beautiful energy work to be done. But using the term activate, to me at least, implies that they were dormant, that they weren't there to begin with. And for so many of us, I would say for the majority of us, the truth is that we are using our psychic senses all the time in our everyday life. It's all about becoming aware of that and consciously using these senses when we're in the space of connecting with spirit. So here are 4 steps to really help you, activate your senses to help you get more in touch with your innate psychic abilities. And really, the first one is to validate all the ways that you use your senses already in everyday life. To start to realize that you and every human on this planet effectively is psychic. If you look up the word psychic in the dictionary, I mean, there's probably a million definitions floating about, but there's one that I really grabbed onto, and that is of the soul and of the mind. And I like to think that our psychic senses are our soul's senses. And all of us as spirit in a body, well, we have souls and our souls have senses. So look at the ways that you might be using your psychic senses in everyday life. For example, if you ever get a song stuck in your head long after it's been on the radio, you're using your clairaudience, right? I have a whole playlist that goes through each and every psychic sense and talks about the ways that we use them in our everyday life. And really, in my opinion, that's step 1, validating the ways that you use your senses every single day. The second step is to notice in meditation. So maybe let me roll step 2 back a moment. Step 2 is to spend some time in meditation and to notice in meditation, especially when you're doing guided energy work, much like the meditations that I have on this channel, how are you going through the steps? Are you, for example, seeing a grounding cord when you grounded meditation? Do you just know that you've created it? Do you feel the grounding cord connect to your body and connect to the earth? Do you hear it? What senses are you engaging when you're in that meditative space? As you become aware of yourself as energy, how are you aware of that? Really start to ask that question of yourself. And you'll probably find that it's a combination of senses that you're using. Because kind of like our physical senses, we use more than one sense at a time in our daily life and experience. The example that I love to give is if you're eating a delicious piece of cake, right? You're not only tasting that cake, but you are also smelling the cake, and your smell ties right in with your taste, right? You're seeing the cake, and all of those senses together, smell, taste, and sight, contribute to the richness of your experience in enjoying that cake. So for your psychic senses, it's kind of the same thing. You may be seeing, your grounding cord, and as you create it, you see a color for it. You see a shape, and you know that the color represents something. There's a message that comes into your awareness. That's claircognizance. right? You may see, hear, know, see and feel, etc. Right? So start to pay attention in the meditation space. The third step to activating your psychic senses is to practice, practice, practice. I think there's a misconception sometimes that all of a sudden it's like, boom, third eye activated. I can see everything in HD. For some people, that may be the experience, but for the majority of people, practice. The more that you work with your senses in a spiritual or metaphysical context, the sharper they become. I'm a professional musician also. That's a big part of who I am and my work in the world. Studied music for well over 20 years. And it was always ingrained to practice, right? And the interesting thing is, even for professionals, you never stop practicing. You're always honing your skills. You're always keeping up with your technique. And I would say really the same for your psychic senses and abilities, especially those of you who are or want to be practitioners as a part of your work in the world. Keep practicing, keep honing your skills, right? Keep visualizing, keep strengthening your clairaudience, claircognizance, and it doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to practice. um, it's funny going back to my musical training. I went through some pretty hardcore music schools where it was like you go in a room, you learn it, and you don't come out until you have it. That wasn't the most effective way to learn. As a musician, I found that I learned the most when I was actually on stage performing and just having fun experimenting with other people. Yeah, sure, in the practice room, but I learned the most through play and experimentation, the most vital things at least. And the same is true when it comes to psychic development. We learn and retain more in a state of play. So I highly emphasize fun psychic development exercises or practice environments where there's that spirit of lightness, childlike wonder, right? Versus heaviness and like you got to get it right and don't come out till it's right. Right. Let's leave that behind. Leave that in the 20th century. So I encourage you to practice. I have a whole bunch of fun psychic development exercises that I recorded a while back. I'll link that playlist below for you to check out. But they're also, on the internet if you search for exercises by type of sense, like clairvoyance, clairaudience. There are a whole bunch that come up, and just enjoy the journey, enjoy playing. And the last step to activating your psychic senses is to do some energy work and meditation to strengthen your connection with these senses. Each one of our non-physical senses is regulated by a chakra or an energy center in our body. And so as we balance and clear and strengthen our chakras, we then also strengthen our psychic senses. There's no one meditation that is going to activate everything for everyone. There's no one size fits all because we're all at different places in our journey. We all have different energy and information in our field, right? So I encourage you just to, put one foot in front of the other. A great starting point in terms of energy work and meditation is a practice called running earth and cosmic energy. And I've recorded this type of meditation on my channel. I'll link it above so that you can check it out if you haven't already. Because this practice naturally cleanses and balances our chakras. So if you run your earth and cosmic energy for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes a day, you're naturally going to strengthen and sharpen your psychic senses. And it's super easy and it feels great. There are also more specific meditations that you can do. Again, I have a couple of meditations on my channel, and likely you've already found one or two of them that do energy work to strengthen a specific sense. And that is wonderful as well. But again, there's no one size fits all. For some of us, yes, it's true that we may have some energy and information in our body that is kind of dampening or blocking our use of certain senses. Sometimes, for some people, we can pull in, for example, unconscious energy to shut down our senses if things have become too intense. It's really common, or at least I've noticed in clients and students, people that were very psychic children, maybe it was a little bit overwhelming or scary for them. And so they pulled in, not consciously, but they pulled in some energy to kind of cloud or cushion that chakra or that sense so that it wouldn't be so scary or overwhelming. Some people are invalidated by adults or others around them. Like, you didn't see anything, you didn't hear anything. And that energy can also suppress the use of one's psychic senses. And then also from other lifetimes, sometimes, we've lived lifetimes where there's trauma or where it wasn't safe to use psychic abilities. And then in that lifetime, we pull in some unconscious energy to keep ourselves safe, but then take it with us from lifetime to lifetime. And that can affect the use of our senses. So, if you suspect, if you have a little, inkling that you might have one of those issues, doing energy work consistently in meditation will absolutely help you. Again, there's no one size fits all. There's no one prescribed time frame. Like, if you run your energy every day for 1 year, then your third eye will be open. It doesn't necessarily work like that, right? We're all on our own unique journey. So just have patience with yourself. But again, for the majority of us, an excellent starting point is to validate that you're using your senses in everyday life, right? And then just start to go inward and play with those same senses in the context and with the intention to connect with spirit. So I hope that this video is helpful to you. And again, I'll link some more resources below for you to check out here on my channel. If you'd like to go deeper into study and practice and learn how to read the energy of anything and learn how to work in partnership with spirit to shift and change energy for your benefit and the benefit of your community, I am offering a 6-month training called Intuitive Freedom, and it's a very comprehensive training. It includes 25 weekly lessons that are between about an hour and a half to 2 hours each, with guided energy work and the opportunity to attend multiple practice clinics per week, whatever fits your schedule. So this is a beautiful way for you to really own your space and your role as an empowered healer in your community. If you are someone that's feeling the call to do this, I invite you to check out intuitive-freedom.com. I will link that above and also put it below. And feel free to reach out to me as well if you have any questions about the program. So thanks for being here. I hope you appreciated what I had to share. I enjoyed sharing with you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.